Welcome back to the program. So I start this evening's program with some very sad news. Congressman Andy Biggs, who I know pretty well, I've met him many times, good person, great patriot, sadly has lost his 37-year-old daughter, Cosette, to cancer. And of course, the Biggs family is devastated. My thoughts and prayers, of course, go out to Andy and to his family, and of course to Cosette, who was battling cancer. 37, it's very, very young. So Andy put out a statement on X that reads, "Earlier this week, our daughter Cosette lost her battle with cancer. We are devastated by her passing, but we do take comfort in knowing that she is at peace with the Lord. We are grateful our family could gather together to spend her final days by her side. Thank you to everyone for your thoughts, for your prayers, and your support. We are humbled by this great community and the outpouring of love for Cosette and her family. Amen." Very, very sad news. Andy Biggs is an incredible person, incredible patriot. I'm sure all of his children, I believe he had 6 children. I'm sure they're all wonderful. Just, knowing Andy, I'm sure all the children, were great kids. And very, very sad that at 37 years old, he lost his daughter. So again, my condolences, my thoughts and prayers go out to the Biggs family. Okay, let's get into some other stuff here. So we know what a radical extremist that this Senator Chris Von Hollen from Maryland is. We know that he hasn't cared one iota to even reach out to Patricia Morin, Rachel's mother, or any other constituent that may have been raped or murdered in his city, his constituents in Maryland. He doesn't care. All he cares about, for some reason, is an MS-13 gang member. And now we're hearing that other members of Congress and possibly the Senate all want to travel to El Salvador. I mean, it's so crazy. One Republican congressman actually went over to Van Hollen's door in the Capitol and changed it to say, Senator Van Hollen, representative for El Salvador, because that's what he is, okay? But as bad as that is, and as bad as what he is doing, you ain't seen nothing yet. What if I told you that a Democrat judge in New Mexico not only housed Tren de Aragua criminals and terrorists, but actually took pictures flashing guns and gang signs with Tren de Aragua? That's correct. This is why I say all the time, Democrats can never, ever, ever be back in power, because they are a danger to society and everybody else. Listen to this story. Democrat judge in New Mexico abruptly resigns after suspected Tren de Aragua gang member found with firearm at his house. And yes, the thumbnail will have all the information that you need to see for yourselves. Longtime Doha, is that it? Yeah, Dona Ana County Magistrate Judge Joel Cano, C-A-N-O, a Democrat and former police officer as well, abruptly resigned after federal agents arrested an alleged member of the violent Venezuelan Tren de Aragua gang at his residence that he owns. The bombshell resignation letter dated March 3rd came just days after federal agents with Homeland Security investigated and raided the property tied to Cano and his wife, Nancy, arresting 23-year-old Christian Ortega Lopez on federal gun charges, according to the Albuquerque Journal. The Venezuelan national, who is in the United States illegally and has alleged ties to a ruthless transnational gang, was allegedly in possession of multiple firearms, including ones linked to disturbing images and videos on social media. So like the rest of these idiots, They flash $100 bills, right? They fan out $100 bills. They line up all of their guns. They hold their guns. They point them at the camera. They're just disgusting gang members. HSI initiated an inquiry into Ortega Lopez in January of 2025 following an anonymous tip. Ortega Lopez, an illegal alien from Venezuela, again suspected with Tren de Aragua, allegedly was residing with other illegal aliens in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and had been in possession of firearms. The investigation determined Ortega Lopez had entered the United States illegally on December 15, 2023, and was released pending removal proceedings. And here's the crazy part. Right here. Court filings show that Ortega Lopez had been living in a casita behind Judge Cano's residence in Las Cruces after allegedly meeting Nancy Cano, his wife, while doing handyman work. Ortega Lopez, who had unlawfully entered the United States by scaling a barbed wire fence in Eagle Pass, Texas, was released on so-called humanitarian parole due to the overcrowding in the prisons down near the southern border. Once in New Mexico, prosecutors allege Ortega Lopez became acquainted with April Cano, the judge's stepdaughter, who reportedly owned a cache of firearms herself and allowed the illegal alien to be shooting those guns and posed with those weapons, according to images on Facebook. Even more disturbing, Ortega Lopez is pictured in one photo, which I'm going to show you all, smiling alongside Judge Cano in a stunning image now submitted to federal court as part of the government's detention case. He's drinking a beer. He's going like this. The other guys are doing the same type of gang symbols. And then there's also a video of him and his wife holding some type of weapon. And he's literally arm in arm drinking beers with a Tren de Aragua. And this is a Democrat judge from New Mexico. Okay? This is why I say, Democrats, you have lost the right to ever be in control ever again. You can't be trusted with our national security. You can't be trusted with our money. You can't be trusted with anything. This is why I have designated you a terrorist organization as far back as 2018. And yes, I stand by those words and will never deviate from them because you prove me correct each and every day. I've said it for 5 or 6 years, and there hasn't been one day ever in those years that you have proven me wrong. You've only solidified my belief in how dangerous you all are. Unreal. And now they're still gaming to go to El Salvador for this other idiot. What's his name? Kill More Burritos Garcia, right? That's what I keep calling him. So, I don't know, man. It's scary stuff. Now, let's talk about the Supreme Court real quick. So we know that the Supreme Court stepped in and they blocked the Alien Enemies Act to deport illegal aliens. Thomas and Alito dissented, okay? Now, is this as bad as it seems? Not necessarily. Number one, it's a temporary one. They are going to re-look at this again. They're gonna litigate this, and they're gonna say whether or not the Alien Enemies Act can be used for this purpose. Okay? That's what the court is doing. They're not shutting it down completely. They are putting a pause on deportation, sadly, but they're not shutting it all down completely. So don't listen to the garbage from the left and the prostitutes in the media lying, saying that Trump has been stopped from deporting illegal aliens. Not true. Not true at all, okay? Is he stopped temporarily for the next, I think it's 10 days or whatever it is? Yes, he is, okay? But remember what I said weeks ago. Me, okay? Not too many other people. I said for the Aliens Act, if he declares war, it doesn't matter what the judges do. So basically what the judges are saying is if we're not in a, quote, time of war, you can't use this, or we're going to at least have to look into this a little bit further. So what does President Trump have to do to get around it? Declare war. That's right. Does he have the testicular fortitude to do it? That I can't answer. But I hope he does, because this is what I said, I don't know, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Something like that? I was one of the first ones to come out publicly and say, here's how we get around these judges, including the Supreme Court. Roll it. Is the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 is a wartime authority that allows the president to detain or deport the natives and citizens of an enemy nation. The law permits the President of the United States to target these immigrants without a hearing and based only on their country or birth or citizenship. Okay? Now, let me get a little bit further. The President may invoke the Alien Enemies Act in times of declared war, or when a foreign government threatens or undertakes an invasion or predatory incursion against the United States and or its territories. The Constitution gives Congress, not the President, the power to declare war, so the President must wait for democratic debate and a congressional vote to invoke the Alien Enemies Act based on a declaration of war. But the President can invoke the law based on a threat or an invasion. So in other words, the President has inherent authority to repel these kinds of invasions. So let's put that one into perspective. Technically, Congress has to declare war and the President has to ask them to do it, right? But if there is an imminent threat and if there is a, quote, invasion from a foreign country, the President has inherent authority to declare the Alien Enemies Act. So, how do we take these judges out of the equation? Declare war. That's right, declare war. It's as simple as that. Now, is he going to do it? I don't know. I haven't heard anything coming out of the administration talking about it yet. Interesting, if you read the decision from the Supreme Court, they actually say in their decision, this decision will be litigated in the very near future unless there is a declaration of war. So even the Supreme Court is kind of like, maybe not telling him to do it, but saying like, hey, if you want to get around this, wink, wink, nod, nod, declare war. So that's interesting that the dissent actually put that in this ruling. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I hope he does it, because I think what he'll probably end up doing is he'll deal with this pause, if you will, and he'll wait for the Supreme Court, and they'll take the case very, very soon, and they'll litigate the case. And if they rule that he doesn't have the permission, then I would assume in order to continue what he needs to do, he's going to declare war. And he'll probably have to declare war, I would assume, on Venezuela and El Salvador. Now, obviously, if he does it on El Salvador, that doesn't matter, right? Bukele and him are tight. He's gonna be like, yeah, I know why you're doing it. It's fine. It's cool. Venezuela is a little bit different. That's a different story, right? I mean, you got Maduro there. He's a real tyrant, close to Cuba, hates President Trump. So that one's a little more touchy. But look, what are they going to do? There's nothing they can do. They can't come after the United States of America. So we'll see what happens. He might do it. He might do it. I hope he does. So anyway, those are all my thoughts for this evening. Can't wait to hear all of yours. See you in the next one.